Right, hello BYU Cougar fans. Welcome to the Blue Cougar Football Podcast to recap and analyze, react to the BYU beatdown of the Texas Longhorns, 40-21. Awesome game. Really enjoyed it. Haven't felt so good about a game for a long time. And that's saying a lot because I remember we were all pretty excited last year after the Washington State game in the season opener. And I mean it really has been easily since the end of 2010. I think we were all feeling really good after the New Mexico Bowl against UTEP, just because of what we were expecting the next year, and the growth that was expected, and with everybody coming back, Jake Heaps on offense, Kyle Van Noy on defense, and so we were all pretty excited then, but maybe even more excited then, but definitely not since the end of the 2009 season, with the way the Las Vegas Bowl went and everything. That was Max Hall and Dennis Pitta's swan song, and finishing with another 11-win season, third time in 4 years. So this was definitely a big win. We really got a monkey off of our backs, so to speak, and we did it in remarkable fashion. It's a day that will live in the history of BYU football for a long time, probably forever. So lots and lots of comments and analysis to get to. Where to start? I'll just get this off the table and out of the way. I'm sure we're all thinking it, but it's definitely true. The refs were terrible. That Pac-12 crew was definitely favoring Texas. I mean, I couldn't believe some of those calls they missed, and just how late they were on some other calls, like that kick-catch interference when the guy just destroyed J.D. Falslev. Took him a good, 15-20 seconds to throw the flag for that one. But then on that first roughing the punter, they never called that one, and thankfully they called the second one. There were other bad calls, though, especially in the fourth quarter, trying to give Texas every opportunity to get in the game and somehow have a chance to win, I guess. But we overcame. We did it, and I don't want to dwell on that too long, because I don't want it to take away from all the magnificent and great things that happened. I mean, the offense, we all know about the offense, and that rushing performance, 550 yards. I mean, I have no words for it. I've looked at the school record for most rushing yards in a game, well over 450 yards, way back in the 50s, and I've looked at that and I've just said, we're never going to break that record. I can't imagine a circumstance where we would ever break that record, because first of all, it was a lot of yards in the first place. And second of all, we just don't run the ball that much anymore. But now, I mean, with Taysom Hill and Jamaal Williams, anything's possible, I guess. If we put up 550 against Texas, I mean, who knows what we might do against someone else, given, the right conditions and everything. So, I mean, just crazy madness. I really would have liked to see Taysom Hill get the single-game rushing record, but we did the right thing. Didn't give him any carries late in the game when we didn't have to, and so maybe put an asterisk, put him in the record book somehow, showing because I thought he was going to get to 300 yards. At a certain point, he was just picking up 10, 15 yards, big chunks every time, and it just seemed like 300 was a given. So it was just phenomenal. It was real funny listening to Matt Millen on the broadcast. In the first quarter, he was saying things like, this quarterback, Taysom Hill, he's a good runner, but he's not somebody who's going to make you miss. And he kind of stopped saying that by halftime, because Taysom Hill was making those Longhorns miss like crazy. They could not tackle him. They could not get him down. They didn't think that a guy from BYU would have that kind of speed. And I also cringed in the first half when Matt Millen said, he reminds me a lot of that quarterback there in Tennessee with the Tennessee Titans, meaning Jake Locker, who we don't want any of our quarterbacks compared to him. But unfortunately, with the way Taysom's throwing the ball, that might be an accurate description right now. But I don't even think Jake Locker was even this good of a runner. So, come on. We beat Jake Locker twice. We don't want our quarterbacks to be in the same category as Jake Locker. Going back to Taysom Hill and his 259 rush yards, it would have been so nice to get beat Vince Young's 267 rushing yards as the most rushing yards by a quarterback in the last 10 years. Since Vince Young did play for Texas, and as I understand, he was on the sidelines. I'm not positive of that, but I did hear that from some people. And I mean, that would have been the trifecta. Most rushing yards for BYU in a game, most rushing yards by a Texas opponent in a game, and most rushing yards by any quarterback in college football, breaking the standard set by a Texas Longhorn quarterback. So hopefully this all doesn't come back and bite us in the back next year, because we got to go back down to Texas next year, and you know they're going to remember this game. So we definitely need to be ready for that. Cody Hoffman, only 2 catches, but they sure were pretty. I mean, it's just amazing. We love Hoffman. We know he's great, but you know, even when he's out in a game, I don't think we fully understand how good he is, and he makes sure he reminds us when he comes back. You know, last year he got knocked out against Washington State, only to come back the next week against Weber State with a phenomenal jumping over the defender's back and head and touchdown catch against Weber State. And now this year he misses the Virginia game. And so what's he do? He comes back with 2 unbelievable highlight reel catches on the sideline. I don't know how he kept not just 1 foot but 2 feet in bounds on that first one. I mean, the guy's a player, and he's just a great find that we got, and so glad he's here. So glad he's here one more year. So yeah, we learned not to run the QB late, but I didn't see Taysom Hill sliding very much. Sure looked a lot like Riley Nelson out there running the ball. Which is not what I was hearing before the season. I was pretty sure they were talking about the quarterback has learned how to slide. Oh, yeah, I mean, Lasike, love seeing Lasike get some good quality carries and production. I really expect a lot of things out of him. He's going to be a real nice back for us this year and next. And he's just fun. He's just fun to watch and fun to root for. Adam Hine, I mean, one of these days, a big return that he makes is going to count. Oh, that's 2 games, back-to-back games, long kickoff return, called back by a penalty. But, oh, I'm excited about him. I mean, he's got Cody Hoffman potential there on those kickoffs. and hopefully he can start making it happen out of the backfield as a running back as well. But he's doing great on the kickoff returns already. Now, for as bad as Hill was throwing the ball, he did get better in the second half. I think, really having the run game helped. The run game going the way it was. In the first half, he was just 4 of 18. And in the second half, he was 5 of 8. So much better, 62.5% completions compared to, that's horrible, 22%? Yeah, if I did my math right, 22% in the first half. So, yeah, you could see he settled down because Texas, they couldn't come after him. They had to respect the run. And so he was able to do some play action and sit there, collect himself, and make better throws. So I think that's the formula. We need to focus on getting the ground game going, and then we'll see nice production out of Hill throwing the ball. The offensive line, got to give props to the offensive line. They were men. They had a bad game. Everyone called them out, and they responded. That's what we need. That's what men do. So, props to you. Way to go, offensive line. That's what we need. Let's have more of that the rest of this year. Defense. I can't say enough about the defense. The defense was awesome. Doesn't show up in all of the stats. Texas did get, thanks to some, a 45-yard pass play in the final minute of the game. They did get over 400 yards total offense, over 300 yards passing. But you watch that game and that comes as a surprise to you, because you saw a defense that was dominating in the trenches. The pressure brought by the front 3 and front 4 sometimes. We didn't blitz all that much. We didn't bring, 2 or 3 extra guys. I mean, Bronson Kafusi, Ethan Manu Maleuna, Remington Peck, and whoever else came in there, Marquise Johnson, anyone else who stepped in there, they were owning those Longhorn linemen. And that is very impressive. Not something you see a lot from a BYU team, especially a BYU team with, up against an opponent like Texas. So, Alani Fua, I was high on the move when I first learned about it in fall camp, that Spencer Hadley would move to the middle and Fua would start at outside linebacker. But, he's just playing out of his mind right now. He's having a great year already. And, he's benefiting right now from everyone's attention being on Kyle Van Noy. But pretty soon, teams are going to start worrying about him. And so, it's just great to have so many good outside linebackers, so many great linebackers overall. Great play by the defensive backs. Daniel Sorensen, big pass breakups, and Craig Bills made some big plays as well. And the corners, they played a solid game. They didn't completely shut down Texas, but coming into the game, we knew that they were overmatched. But they did what they needed to do. They held their own. They were solid. And that was great. Obviously, they did a lot more than enough to win, and so they deserve props too. There were a couple scary moments there for me, a little deja vu, or potential deja vu, like the interception Hill threw in the first half. That's when things fell apart 2 years ago at Texas, when Jake Heaps threw an interception. And so, we were in control up to that point, and had me a little worried that here we go again, that here's an interception that's going to completely change the game, and what should have been a win will turn out to be a loss. But It didn't happen. We threw that interception, but we didn't let that unravel us. Yeah, Texas got a touchdown right after it, but we responded with a touchdown of our own. And said, hey, you're not shaking us that easy. Another deja vu was in the fourth quarter when we knocked out the quarterback. As you recall, it's when Texas made a change in quarterback 2 years ago that changed the complexion of the game. And so I was a little worried. There was still over 9 minutes to play, and that's enough time to score 3 touchdowns. Oh no, that was about 8.5 minutes to play. At 9.5, we had a fumble. That caused some consternation because of just because it's a turnover. We were going in for points, and that can be a big swing in momentum. But yeah, but shortly after that, we injured their quarterback, and 8.5 minutes. That's still plenty of time to mount a comeback and win. But even with a couple of penalties, one was a bad call, a pass interference that I didn't see, or on a pass that was definitely not catchable, to give them a fresh set of downs. But we stood strong as a defense and shut them down on downs. So yeah, a few scary potential deja vus there, but obviously this was not the same team. This was not going to end the same way. Just one final note on this game, and please, I'm not trying to exaggerate anything, so please take it, understand this the way I'm saying it. But this did remind me a lot of the game against Miami in 1990. I know Texas is not the #1 ranked team. Texas probably is not as good as that 1990 Hurricane squad was. But I'm just saying the way the game went. Because in that 1990 game, again, the BYU defense gave up well over 300 yards. But they were a force to be reckoned with. They were getting in the backfield, stopping Miami for a loss on 4th down, and controlling the game in their way. Even though it wasn't dominating in the stats category, but the defense played a great game against Miami, and some big pass breakups in the fourth quarter to preserve the lead. In a fourth quarter that was scoreless, just like the fourth quarter was scoreless on Saturday. And so, Texas scored 21, just like Miami scored 21. The offense on Saturday didn't have as many turnovers as BYU did against Miami in 1990, and so that's probably why we ended up with more points. But, it was a home opener, and so it just has the feel, the way the defense played and was a force and stopped the team. That really reminds me of the way the 1990 Miami game went. No one was giving BYU much of a chance, just like they weren't giving us much of a chance this week. So, kind of a little deja vu, especially since the day after Sunday was the 23rd anniversary of that Miami upset. So, same weekend. So, kind of appropriate, I guess. All right, well, that's my analysis and stuff for the game. A little longer, but this game definitely deserved it. So I'm excited for the Utah game coming up. Glad we got 2 weeks to get ready, and can't wait. Hopefully, it's another big win that we can really celebrate and be happy. Thanks for listening. Go Cougars!